What's good, y'all? So in this video, I'm gonna reacting to Rappers Born in the Wrong Generation by Hip Hop Madness. Um, I saw on the thumbnail, I remember Doechii, Jid. I don't remember who else was on there, to be real. But I don't know, I feel like they're very appreciated, right? Um, they can rap, and I feel like they're just popular. But maybe I'm, looking from a different point of view, and I'm just like, I think they're really talented, and I appreciate them. So everyone else does, but maybe that's not the case. But yeah, let's just get into it. See what he's talking about.
Hip hop is obsessed with youth, so much so that you barely need to be.
This is Lil Uzi Page. Oh, it's 2017, but still, if you 25 and up, you a old nigga point blank. Well, damn. I'm 26. I done missed the mark. I'm auntie. Y'all can refer to me as auntie. It's cool. I don't got no kids. I should probably get on that. I don't know. I should probably get on that. It seemed like time is starting to run out.
Over the age of 25 before
I
someone's
need
calling you an
to
old
be in
head.
a
It's why Drake is
situation.
obsessed with attaching himself to the hottest upcoming rapper. And it's why Kanye once claimed,
I only listen to people who are younger than me. These are the only people with ideas. You cannot give me any advice.
a culture that's
What is wrong with him? You know what? There's so many answers to that question. Never mind. Don't even answer.
constantly battling against tradition and innovation. Both rappers and fans are always trying to strike this ever-changing balance. As a result, there are some casualties
Who
in the
the
shape of
hell?
artists
Oh, that
who
was
struggle
Denzel
to find their
Curry.
place within this strange paradigm.
Denzel. Yeah, I think he was on the thumbnail too. I love me some Denzel. Understand that.
Or more accurately, artists whose
That's
commitment to
Jid.
their craft
I
feels
know
out of
that
date within a
shape.
mainstream where chasing
I don't know what
trends
it
is
is.
more rewarded than devoting yourself to your craft. So without further ado, these are the rappers who we can't help but feel
Who
were
the hell
born
is
in the
he?
wrong
Frank
generation.
Ocean. I
Among the
don't
most
know.
renowned spitters that Atlanta has produced in decades, Jid was originally an aspiring football player
Yes.
until fate
Oh.
intervened and put a mic in his hand. Realizing he was at a dead end, Jid decided to hone his craft until his work was undeniable. Beginning his career with the Spillage Village Collective, his work alongside Earth Gang
Oh, wait. Wait. I didn't know this. I thought Spillage
was
Village
undeniable. Beginning his
was
career with
these two mofos. I thought it was just them. Whole time. I don't know who this is. That's Black. I didn't know he had anything to do with these mofos. Who this? And I thought he was all alone. I love you. Sorry. Let me chill.
Spillage Village Collective, his work alongside Earth Gang got him noticed by J. Cole, and eventually a deal with Dreamville. And
Didn't
from the
even
outset,
notice.
Cole had high hopes for him. The result was a series of lauded projects, beginning with the Never story before he really upped his game in 2018 with DiCaprio 2, which gave him the chance to collab with a litany of major stars, including J. Cole himself. With that, he suddenly received a whole host of fanfare and made it abundantly clear that he was willing to go toe-to-toe with anyone
There's
in the
like a
game.
debate.
I took two things that
Who do you think, like obviously I know mofos are gonna be like, bro, this is a stupid ass question. Why would you even ask that? But people were like, who do you think is better, Jid or J. Cole? And I would have to say, I think J. Cole is more polished for sure, but I don't know, something Jid is like crazy on the mic. Like crazy. Like the things that come up with that man head, it's I don't know. I don't know.
Just really competing with TDE. This is a whole nother thing. We competing with TDE. That's what needs to be known. Dreamville, we gotta step up. Them is fire. We gotta step it up. Facts.
Having tweeted in 2022 that none of my rap coworkers are trying to rap with me, dog, only women and pop stars, Jid continued to push forward. And on standout performances on Revenge of the Dreamers 3, it seemed like he really should have been hailed as one of the best in the game. But still,
is.
it really didn't come to pass. And much like Denzel, it was the rap Reddit blogs and other internet forums that were more willing to give him the adoration he deserved than the mainstream. However, he was about to put them all on notice with his sophomore album, The Forever Story.
Yes.
A masterwork that stands up against some of the best records of the past 10 years. The project saw Jid essentially double the sales of DiCaprio 2 with 30,000 units, complete with a mega hit single in surround
That's
sound.
crazy. 30,000? What, like, for I don't, in my head, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm making these people bigger than they actually are, but it don't matter. Talent is talent. I don't care if you sold 2 copies. You talented, period.
It seemed like he was primed for the big features, festival placements, and everything in between, but somehow it still never really happened. Instead, he continued to get saddled with reductive Kendrick comparisons, which Jid has had to try his best to dispel.
It's just fakely. It's only some tone. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Just only because the show. I don't even think our subject matters. You know what I'm saying? Line up. We talking about black plight in a sense, but I love Kendrick. So even to be compared to somebody that legendary, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going in the right direction. But
Critically praised, but not exactly a commercial powerhouse, Jid's pen might be razor sharp, but he hasn't quite gotten the response that he might have in a previous era. And while he might be given the respect he deserves with time, his mindset just isn't conducive to the hyper drama-oriented industry we're in now. Something that Kendrick has no problem participating in. People want me to diss rappers and be that type of artist, but I diss corporations and family members. Stuff that really
And
bothers
family
me, not
members.
other artists. I'm just getting over dissing my sister. That's the realest beef I've got in the world. Chasing greatness
Sister
instead of
Nam.
fleeting fame, Jid exemplifies the mentality of staying true to yourself. And currently, another young artist is
Cordae.
attempting to do the same. Having first emerged with the YBN crew, Cordae was immediately an anomaly, where Namir and Almighty were very much a product of
They
the
look
new
like
school. You
babies,
could tell
bro.
within moments that Cordae was an actual student of the game. Boasting an engaging delivery and punchlines to spare, Cordae had all the buzz in the world going
Freaking
into the release of his
babies.
debut album, The Lost Boy, not to mention some ridiculous cosigns. When it emerged, it resulted in 2 Grammy nominations and a whole host of industry praise.
YBN Cordae. Oh, now you gotta give him an ear. They got these new artists that you actually, you gotta let them know. You gotta give them an ear. Now you can't just hear him. You gotta listen to him. He be spitting.
But despite the fact that his talent was there to see, it seemed like since Lost Boy dropped, he's only regressed in the mainstream's intriguing him. From there, Cordae unveiled From a Bird's Eye View, his sophomore album, which certainly had its strengths, and further exhibited both his lyrical prowess and the whole host of deliveries that he had in his wheelhouse. But it also failed to connect to audiences on a broader level. And after personally acknowledging that it sold less than The Lost Boy, Cordae began a campaign to speak out against sales metrics.
I think one of my greatest assets is I try to look at all things with no ego, like from an outside perspective. So I can be like, okay, they might sell more records than me, or like they might, just try to think of
Drewski.
it. But when I look
This
at it,
first
okay,
time
well,
I seen
actually,
Drewski serious. The fuck? Look at him. He's so intent with his listening. He listening right now. Like, yeah. Speak young man, Toki. You know what I'm saying?
more records than this person. They had to spend less money on me for me to sell these amount of records. I value my hard ticket sales way over like a first week number.
After taking a couple of years to recalibrate, Cordae intended to prove all the doubters wrong by recommitting to his craft. Arriving in the wake of a collaboration alongside Eminem and the dearly departed Juice WRLD, it seemed like the perfect moment for him to release something special. And for all intents and purposes, he did just that with The Crossroads, a record which contained many of his most incisive and riveting tracks that was also aided by a star-studded supporting cast. And yet, those first week sales failed him once again, leading to Charlemagne hitting him with the hard questions when it came time to appear on The Breakfast Club.
I saw one of those crazy YouTube videos, and it said, why Cordae's career hit a crossroads. Album flopped horrendously. Do you feel like your album flopped?
Every artist in music, you could find something negative and nitpick at where they lack in some department. You know what I'm saying? But no, because like I had other albums that didn't have like a strong first week. But again, my tour ended up doing super well. And then later on it grows and becomes like a larger thing. Like,
As
Yeah,
these
I
kinds of
think so too. Because if we look at Doechie's first week, wasn't great. But I think her numbers now are like crazy. Like what Denial is a River is like one of the most streamed rap songs like currently. So I feel like people get hooked, like so caught on numbers when like I feel like the numbers are really high when you're in like a big like a humongous artist. Like I feel like that's when your numbers are crazy. Like I think it all has to do with marketing, what time period you do it. Like if somebody released something while the beef was going on, bro, see ya. What? No one was trying to, people's attention was on different stuff. So I feel like people put so much importance in this, and it probably doesn't even freaking matter. Like he says, it doesn't translate to concerts, Now, if he went on tour and didn't sell anything, then there's a bigger issue. But if he's doing well in different, areas of his career, then I think it is what it is. You feel me?
Continued to overshadow the actual music on the track list, Cordae kept doubling down, taking to X to further fight in his corner. I want to say now that I don't give a damn about first week sales, especially with the current streaming metrics. I seen someone do 11K first week and then do an arena tour off the same album. In the 90s, 2000s, music was consumed by people actually going to the stores and buying albums. When you did 100K the first week, that meant 100,000 people went and bought the CD. Now, you can have 300,000 people listening to your album on streaming, and the unit's equivalent is 200. Whole point is, let's stop making music about numbers and money. It's killing something that's so pure. Yet another artist that has the raw skill but zero appeal to an audience that he might have had in a previous era, Cordae is trying his best to keep it moving. When discussing his career, he routinely argues that he's striving for longevity, rather than a brief run of momentum that quickly
And
tapers.
that's what I'm saying. I don't want him to like sacrifice his like the integrity of his art to try to please the people. You feel me? Like, no, don't do that. I feel like there's a lot of rappers that do that. I'm not even gonna say they're sacrificing anything. I just feel like, putting it bluntly, I just feel like they're not very talented, if we're being real. Like, they're just not. And they just have like a very digestible style. And so they last, or they're the biggest because they're, I don't know, like, again, no shade, but it is what it is. Ice Spice, very digestible. There was no talent, so people started putting like her body or her physical appearance as like the most important thing, and twerking and stuff, so that when that changed, now people don't like her no more. Like, that's crazy. Like, it didn't had nothing to do with music. They didn't care about the music. I never liked her. I didn't switch up. And was like, oh, she lost weight. Can't listen to music. No, that's just the mindset. Generation is actually fucked.
Problem with him, however, is that he has his back up against the wall in an era where no one seeks to dig under the surface. Now trying to capitalize on the momentum with Act 2 of The Crossroads, Cordae is borrowing the deluxe formula from the modern era in an attempt to bring the doubters to his side once and for all. But sadly for Cordae, the biggest issue he faces is that he, like many others on the list, is striving for greatness in an era where mediocrity sells.
Every time I hear Cordae rap, he's like an old with a young face. Real talk, because he don't belong in this generation. This generation is just talking about sipping lean, popping pills, sliding. You ever been in class in high school? You'd be like, yo, this one, he's always doing too much. That's what Cordae's music is coming across like, because the rest of the generation are just some lazy that are drug addicts, or some that are just like self-snitching, or some people who just basically, like, you know what I mean, just try to catch a catchy hook and then just hum through the bar.
At this exact moment, there's perhaps no one that's feeling the weight of being born in the wrong era predicament quite like Cordae. And to be honest, he's the main inspiration behind this video. But if there was anyone that it truly applies to and has done since the very outset of their career, it's none other than the final rapper on our list. Since he was a teenager, Joey Badass has...
Did I not see Doechii? I'm tweaked. I don't know. The last year has shown me that people actually have more of an appreciation for lyrics and artistry and, you know, substance. So I don't know. I feel like that's good. We're moving in the right direction. You feel me? Once you start getting these mofos out of here, when I started seeing people's reception to certain artists that they would have hyped up otherwise, I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Mofos actually want to feel something. They want the music to make them feel something. They want to, you feel me? And that was not the other music wasn't doing it for them. And I was just like, you know what? I like this. Well, I don't want to pray on nobody's downfall at all, but I just feel like the message, the overall was like important. Like, oh, like you actually got to put in work to catch mofos' attention, you know? To keep your place, you got to put in that work. Feel me?
Fusing the spirit of boom bap rap into the contemporary
Boom
era.
bap,
Evading trap music
boom
and the
bap,
Dirty South
bap,
revivalism
rappity,
that was
rap,
popular in
rappity,
his city
rap,
at the time, Joey
boom
was still
bap,
in high
bap,
school
bap.
when he started getting buzz. But what no one remembers is that he had to scrape and claw to get it in the first place. Ultimately, Joey was rejected by World Star Hip Hop, but he knew that his talent was undeniable and thus began to distribute himself. So he got creative.
I titled it as 15-year-old freestyles for World
This
Star.
looks much
And my
better.
thinking,
His
right,
hair.
the way I was looking at it was, it's so good that nobody would dare second guess that this wasn't on World Star. And that's exactly what happened. And who was Johnny Shipes, who was my first manager, who ultimately became my first manager. But he hit me up, he reached out, and he said, yo, I just saw your video.
Why is she on her
World Star,
phone?
and I want to talk to you about signing to my label.
After that, the rest is history. From there, he dropped one of the greatest debut mixtapes of all time with 1999. From there, he mounted up to deliver a string of great records over the next few years, all the while letting it be known that he felt he could go toe-to-toe with any MC. But even though he's demonstrated his willingness to challenge
the Drake
rappers
look
like
good too.
Kendrick Lamar, it feels desperate because he hasn't exactly reached a level where general hip-hop fans perceive them as equals.
Low key. And I love Joey. I do. I think he can rap his ass off. I think that Kendrick thing was corny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. It didn't give like, oh, I'm competitive. It didn't give that. And the only reason I'm saying that is because the initial song, it was like, okay, you got some lines in here. Okay, too much West Coast D-licking. Okay. But the energy did not follow up on them other songs. You had people that you could say are more so, on his level or whatever of like popularity. Maybe he was a little bit more popular than them, whatever. But you have people like just releasing songs back to back to back. Mick Jenkins, Rayvon, Daylight, other people probably. And instead of battling any of those people, release a song and then throw a shot at J. Cole. Like it just was like, oh, okay. Maybe he just wants like shock factor and he wants attention on himself. I feel like if he would have engaged in a battle, he could have kept his and I mean really like a diss. Like let's go back and forth. Like Bad Baby and Alabama Barker, bitch. The fuck? At least they going back and forth. It just gave like, is this fake? This is fake. It gave like Ruby Rose posted something like, it was a tweet. It was like, remember when mofos was or not mofos. I'm the only one who I know that says mofos, but whatever. Remember when niggas was saying Drake over Kendrick? Kendrick over Drake? What the fuck? Or whatever. And in my head, I'm like, bro, I don't know if Twitter makes you money and you know that this is gonna get interaction or whatever, but that's what it's given. You just want interaction for attention, money, whatever the case is. The same reason people clickbait mofos, because the engagement is what mofos get paid off of. It's not likes and comments and that just is engagement. Whatever the engagement is, the views and the comments and likes help it like get pushed. That's what they get paid off of, and that's what it was giving.
No mistake, bar for bar, there's no debate that Joey could tangle with anyone. But the problem is
anyone,
that because
but
he
he's
came out of
fine.
the gate and was hailed as the man to bring boom bap back, he's basically been incapable of escaping the idea that he isn't fit for the mainstream of today. In turn, has created a situation where his pen is platinum certified due to his work with Post Malone on Rockstar, even if his own music isn't. Another issue
writes.
Joey has suffered from is that, at times, his confidence on social media has been misinterpreted as arrogance. For example, when he said that he inspired Hov's 444, even though Jay never actually said this himself.
And honestly, I feel like I was an inspiration to that album. Honestly, I know I was an inspiration to that album. There's nothing nobody could tell me, you know what I'm saying? I put certain pressure on these OGs in the rap game, like they know what they gotta talk about now. Cause they got this young Joey Badass coming out talking about this before they got the chance to talk about it. So now he on.
Now you comments like this, it almost seems like he's delusional.
Steve Nash just came up to me and said, "Great to meet you. Thanks for coming to the game. I'm famous. Jay's here too. He said I'm killing it on TV and did the whole laugh. I'm a superstar. Was he high? What the fuck? Maybe, see, I can't judge this too much because if Tyler the Creator tweets something to a non-Tyler the Creator fan, it's probably gonna look crazy. But I would understand. Well, sometimes. But this is giving weird, and that last clip is also giving weird. But you never know. Maybe him and Beyonce husband is like really like cool. Like I don't really know.
He believes he should have in the industry. Now, fresh from throwing stones at Kendrick and the entire West Coast by claiming that there was too much clicking on his recently released song, The Ruler's Back, it's clear that Joey is ready to make another attempt at the crown that he believes he's earned. But after his last album, 2000, peaked 20 spots below where All American Badass did 5 years prior on the Billboard charts, it's clear that he's got some ground to make up. But when it comes to getting flowers, this is something that the next man who was
Oh, okay. So I thought he said the last person on our list. Am I tweaked? I don't know.
perhaps brought into the game a decade or two late, knows all about. An immensely talented Floridian rapper who can deliver a sculpted 16 or an off-the-dome freestyle at any moment's notice, Denzel Curry has been around since the days of Raider Clan. Over time, he managed to escape Space Ghost Perp's shadow, branching out as the self-proclaimed king of the mischievous South. Where tracks like Ultimate marked him out as a SoundCloud rap mainstay, every project he's ever unveiled has felt like an exercise in exhibiting his versatility. From the conceptual right of Taboo and Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, through to his rugged ode to Florida with Zoo, Zeltron has routinely killed it and racked up endless praise in the process. But all the while, it's felt like there's an innate ceiling on the level of attention he could receive from fans outside of his core. And because of this, Denzel has been waging war against the notion that he's the underground king. People saying I'm underrated is becoming overrated, he said way back in 2018. I'd rather you say I'm great or I'm garbage. For a long time, Denzel seemed to be getting overlooked, particularly when you compare his career trajectory to that of his classmates in the 2016 XXL Cypher and Lil Uzi, Yachty, 21, and Kodak. All these men weren't just talented artists. They were essentially picked to run hip-hop for the next generation. Meanwhile, Zell, who is objectively a better rapper than
Not
any
my
of
generation. What is we talking about?
past,
Up this
Denzel
bitch.
has even admitted that it bothered him, but some encouraging cosigns kept him going. The guys from the XXL class elevated, and I felt like I was still in the same spot, he said in 2017. That's when I thought, what am I really doing this for? Then I went to Coachella and I met Drake for the first time. He's a fan of my music, and I was like, what just happened? It made me feel like, damn, if someone like him is listening and he had the decency to tell me, I need to keep doing this. Still on his grind, Zell continued to release critically acclaimed projects, and on 2022's Melt My Eyes, See Your Future, he delivered what was one of the finest hip-hop albums of that whole year. But what's important is that he didn't achieve this by conforming to what people like Uzi or Kodak were doing. The hard-fought success actually comes from leaning into what makes him unique, as opposed to the other way around. And while the love that he's garnering might not be the Billboard hits that he might deserve, Denzel has made peace with it, and instead has his own metrics for when things are working and when they're not.
How do you measure personally the success of a project? Like, is it the streaming numbers? Is it first album
reviews?
Is it first week sales? Is it critical reviews?
We never really pay attention to first week sales because the fans show up to the show. If your fans are showing up, that's what's important.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? If I could constantly keep touring
That's
every
what I
year,
keep saying.
then I'm successful.
As for the notion that he's destined to reside outside of the mainstream, everything he's said in recent years and in the aftermath of unveiling his latest mixtape, King of the Mischievous South Part 2, it's clear that he's made his peace with where he's at in the culture. Now, gazing forward into the years to come, Denzel is likely cooking up a new project as we speak, but now he can bask in the joy of the flowers that he's already receiving, and hopefully, there's more where that comes from. For all of these rappers, their talent was never in
So
doubt.
why was
The real
Dolce-
question, however, is
Bro.
whether they can carve out the kind of legacy their abilities deserve. Ultimately, one truth stands the test of time. Classic music lasts forever, and if that's what they're truly creating, then their music will stand tall for years to come.
Once in a lifetime. I could have. Let me check. Let me see. Is Doechii in this thumbnail? She is in this, and wasn't included. I wonder if anyone in the comments
Hip-hop
noticed that. No one cared, except for me. Okay, so yeah, I thought this was a dope video, to be honest. I think it is unfortunate that the focus is always on like numbers and oh, well, if you didn't sell, you're a flop. And then like people get like people that like are unemployed and don't have anything going on in their lives really get a kick out of going in other people's comments. Like I mean typing up the people's names or coming across a video and commenting you flopped bitch. Like they really enjoy that shit and it's really telling. Like I don't know. Personally, I'm not going to say never, but I don't think as a grown person, unless you are actively bullying someone, I can look at somebody and be like, "Oh, I don't like their music. Oh, I don't like their face. Oh, I don't think they're attractive." oh, I don't think they're fun. I don't know what would possess me to go on this mofo page and be like, I think you are ugly. I think your music sucks. What? So, anyways, I feel like that's a lot of what's driving it is this toxic social media, um, you know, era we live in. And I think like certain things like drive a narrative that's not really true. Like when if something seems so talked about online, sometimes people are like, oh well, it has to be true, and that means no one's going to their shows. And this many people complained, 5,000 people complained, so that means this person really sucks. And in all reality, when it comes to like ticket sales or sometimes streaming numbers or whatever, it's just not true. It's just not true. So anyways, like I said, I appreciate when people have like they face like these hardships and they don't compromise their artistry for it. And I think in the long term it does pay off because I feel like their bodies of work. I don't want to bring him up. Yes, I do. To me, you can listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and that was from like over a decade ago, and it still hit. I feel like when you really take your time, quality over quantity, and you really put your heart and your soul in your work, I feel like it shows. I feel like it'll just last, like I said, last longer than people just like I like to do bad things and get arrested and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who, what? Because what I've started to notice is that these rappers, first of all, when they get older and they don't switch it up, we're looking at them like you is grown as hell. Get it together. But beyond that, people like it sound the same. Sound the same as the last album. I could have just listened to the last album. You could have kept that. And so it's like when you don't evolve and you don't have really anything of substance, it just, like I said, longevity is not gonna work. Just not gonna work. So, anywho, um, yeah, like I said, I've always appreciated all of these people, to be honest. So hopefully that they continue to do great and they get the recognition that they think they deserve. So yeah, I do need some new JID music to come out. I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna have to figure something out with Dreamville, buddy. You want to release it on YouTube strictly. I don't care. Put that music out. The fuck? He got to figure it out. Anyways, y'all like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and I'll see y'all in the next one.